Welcome back to Cheap and Green. So today I want to show you what I'm doing with all of those beach treasures that I'm sure your kids as well as mine collect over the summer. Summertime for us usually means day trips to the beach or to the cottage, and inevitably we come across beautiful little treasures, natural treasures like sand or shells or sea glass, and we always want to bring them home. But then you end up with a pile of rocks sitting on your kitchen table and you know what to do with them. So I've come up with a way that we can display them neatly but also beautifully. So I picked up this really pretty jar and lid just at the dollar store. I think it was $1.50. I think it's called a candy jar, and it usually has a cardboard insert, so it can be a little tough to see that it's actually a really quite pretty shape. And you could easily use a mason jar for this, or any other kind of apothecary kind of jar. So here is our beach sand from our cottage vacation. We just collected this in a Ziploc bag, and because it was from the bottom of the lake, it was wet for a really long time. So we've let it completely dry out now, because you definitely don't want to put wet sand in a sealed container. So I'm just going to put the sand in the bottom of my little jar here. It's got some rocks mixed in too, because this was up in northern Ontario and the sand up there can be fairly rocky. And so these are the treasures we collected from our cottage vacation. Just a cool pine cone, a bunch of acorns, and some nice looking rocks. And I'm just going to put these inside the container. You know, I'm not going to fuss too much. I'm just going to kind of put them in however. Make that one cute. Little baby acorn. There we go. Just like that. So I also picked up these labels at the dollar store. They happen to suit my decor because they've got a little red border, and I've just used a Sharpie to write the name of the lake. I was also thinking it might be nice if you had several of these to date your time there to remember it. I like to put the label up quite high so it doesn't obscure what's inside. And there you go. So here's my collection that I have so far. This is actually over a couple of years, which is why some of the labels are a little bit faded and probably need to be redone. So these can live anywhere in your house. They could go on your mantelpiece, they could be set up on a side table. A lot of these have been hanging out on a shelf in my bathroom because they do have sort of a, you know, an ocean or water kind of theme, especially with all the sea glass. So the other thing you can do if you have a large collection of sand and rocks that you pick up at the beach is actually display them in sort of a Zen rock garden. All you need for that is any kind of a plate or platter, maybe not too big. Just put a quite thick layer of sand down at the bottom, like maybe about ½ an inch, because you're going to need to stand the rocks up in that sand, so it needs to be fairly thick. And then just arrange the rocks that you get on end or, you know, flat, however that you think that they look pretty. And I just used a fork and kind of drew a Zen pattern around them, just to make it look nice. And that actually lived on my piano for probably about a week or two. And I thought it looked really elegant. It's a nice way to elevate those treasures. So that's it for this episode of Cheap and Green. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are enjoying the show, please remember to subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you next time.